I'm Todd Bookspan, and welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. The hyperlocal real estate show where real estate professionals talk about the neighborhood you live in or the neighborhood you want to live in. This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today. Hey everyone, I'm Todd Bookspan and welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. I'm super excited today. We're going to talk about Verrado, Arizona, 85396. And I've got Katie Fear with the Gold Achievers Group at Realty One Group. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Did I get the name of the group right?
You did. Gold Achievers Group.
All right, Gold Achievers Group. Yes. All right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome. All right, so give me a little background from, I know you're from Yakima, Washington, and you've been a transplant here the last 5 years or so to Arizona, and you ended up in Verrado of all places.
We did. Actually, Verrado was intentional. I had said when my mother-in-law moved here about 15 years ago that I would never, ever move to Arizona.
Well, because you lived in Washington.
We lived in
cool.
Washington. It was green, right? And we complained about the rain every day, but the rain is necessary for the green.
Yeah, that goes hand in hand.
Right? So I always said, I'm never moving there. I'm glad she's moving there. We'll visit. And then about 5 years ago, she started calling more than one time a day. And so we knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
We came down to help take care of her. She had dementia.
Oh, yeah, that's so tough.
Yep. So, and now we have come to love Arizona. But in our home search for ourselves, I wanted the greenest place I could find in Arizona. And Verrado just happened to be it.
All right, so real quick before, let's put a pin in Verrado for 1 sec. So you've been in real estate for how long? Talk about the team. Give us a little bit of background on you.
Sure. I've been a solo agent for 20 years this year.
Okay.
And always have tried to stay above, the trends. Whatever's next, I've tried to keep knowledge about that and do a good job. My husband and I have been a team for most of my career. We've worked together, which we love.
Brave. I work with my wife, so I can say that.
Yeah, we really love it.
She's just sitting out there, so she didn't hear it.
We really love working together. We worked for the bankruptcy court. We were the real estate agents that the bankruptcy court chose.
Oh, that's awesome.
To represent them for many years in Washington State. And then we moved actually when my husband said he felt like we were supposed to move because of adoption. We had been looking to adopt. So.
Oh, that's awesome. We're going to talk more about the adoption thing a little later.
Cool.
All right, so do you still hold a license in Washington or only in Arizona now?
I don't. I did for the first couple years I was here, and really I was doing nothing with it, just keeping it on ice.
Right.
So I let it go and focused just here on Arizona. And the more we love Arizona, the more we grow. And I think that's just because you share the things you love.
Yeah, I love that. I should have said love, but that's all right. We have too many loves going on. So people are listening, they have no idea where Verrado is. Tell them, you land at the Phoenix airport, which direction is Verrado?
Verrado is west, about 35-minute drive. It's on I-10 off exit 120. And you'll know before you get there because there's big billboards that say Front Porch Community, Verrado. And it truly is something completely different than you'll find anywhere else in Arizona, in my opinion. And I sell real estate, so I've been all over looking at homes. And Verrado is still the place we like to call home because it is so beautiful and different.
Well, and I, first, full disclosure, I've never been there, and I keep saying we're going to stop there because we're always on our way to California. We're like, hey, look, there's Verrado. It's right just on the edge of town, and it's just tucked up in the mountains. It looks beautiful. And I remember when they first built the community, you just said front porch, right? It was kind of like in the Mayberry at the time, right? For those of us old enough to remember.
Well, we hear a lot from our California buyers that it reminds them of Carmel.
Oh, love Carmel.
And I've never been there. So I always say, if that helps, it reminds people of that. We most of the homes have front porches, and every home is located within 2 blocks of any park. We have 78 parks in that
Holy
community.
Smokes.
So 78 parks,
78
21
parks.
miles of hiking, 2 golf courses. It's really phenomenal.
And there's all different price points, right?
There are. Yep, we have homes that start in the 200s and all the way
to the millions.
Yep.
I've heard there's some really beautiful luxury stuff up there.
It's amazing. Yeah, there's some really gorgeous homes that sit right up nestled against the white tanks with gorgeous views to downtown.
And the original concept was this front porch, right? Garages around the back, so you can get to know your neighbors. Keeping it small with smaller grocery stores and post offices. Is it still the same way that way?
It is. Yep. Yeah. In fact, on any given night, driving through the neighborhood, what you'll find are individuals and families out walking their dogs, playing frisbee in the park,
How unusual.
sitting on our front porches having a cocktail together. It's pretty phenomenal, and everybody knows everybody,
And demographics all over the place.
all ages.
Yeah, it seems like I've heard lots of families. I've heard retirees.
Yeah. In fact, Verrado also has Victory, which is our 55 and older active adult community, and it really is centered. It's different than any other active adult community as well. It's centered around activity. So they have all the hiking trails. Their fitness center at the Victory for the active adult community is 7,000 square feet.
Holy smokes.
So it's pretty phenomenal. Everything they've done is top notch.
So what are your kind of favorite activities that you do up there, parks or favorite restaurants, favorite shopping places?
Everything. We really love everything. But I would say one of the things that my family loves to do together is we like to scooter with the electric scooters.
Oh, nice.
We
They
call
allow those up
ourselves
there?
the family scooter gang, so we do that a
Nice.
lot. And then we
Are these
also,
your own electric scooters,
Yep.
or are these the ones that you find on a street corner?
No, they're our own.
Oh,
They
nice.
don't have them out there,
Okay.
so we bought them for ourselves. It's also the one I broke my leg in July riding mine. But
Sorry about
whatever.
that.
No, it's okay. I'm like, oh, it's okay. We were having fun. So now my goal is just to get back on it. But we like to do that. We like to go up to
Must have been a cool jump you were doing.
That's what we're gonna go with. Yeah, and we have dinner up at the Grill, which is the golf course, during the month where they have music, and it's just fun.
Yeah, that sounds really great.
It's a great time to spend with your neighbors and have good food. You can walk home if you wanted.
And it's fairly, I always view it as being a smaller community. What's any idea of the population?
Yeah, Verrado has about 17,500 people, and we're only a third built out. So
Wow.
it will continue to grow as we, as new construction continues. There's several new developments out there, a couple of new gated ones. We've only had one gated little piece of our community, and now there's two more that are open.
Because they don't want you
and selling.
scootering in, that's why.
Right. They don't want me to do my
How do
fancy
we stop
jumps.
that scooter family from coming in our neighborhood? Let's put up a gate.
Yeah, right. It's totally us.
Yeah, that's okay. Have you started a trend, or other people scootering around too?
Yeah, there's other people scootering too. People bicycle ride. They go-kart. They use little go-karts around the streets.
Oh, wow.
It's super fun.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to check it out. What else? Anything else I should ask you about Verrado before we start talking about kind of inventory and the boring stuff?
Everything. So one of the things I always say that you can't portray online about Verrado is that Verrado is the community that it really focuses on, like we say community all the time in real
Yeah,
estate, right? Like,
it's used.
oh, that community. We use it kind of loosely.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really talk about individuals with relationship community, that's Verrado.
Oh, I love that.
So Verrado's the kind of community that you can say, hey, I need a cup of sugar, and you'll have 15 neighbors that say, how about me? I'll give you sugar. They're fighting over who can help.
There you go.
Right? So it's just one of those places that is really kind of hard to explain unless you're there, but the relationships between people are strong, and the community is resilient because of it.
I love that. Right now in obviously the Phoenix metro area, right? We were the highest in appreciation last year by Case-Shiller, just under 6%. I know Verrado's also had great appreciation. How's inventory out there?
Well, it's short. We don't have as much inventory as we normally would. I looked this morning. We have 92 homes on the market.
That's not a lot.
And a third of them are new construction.
Wow.
So it's really not a lot in terms of resale, right? Not everyone wants to build brand new. There's a lot that goes into that. And so our resale homes are on the short side, which makes it, I think it does that community thing again for the realtors that
Right.
work out there. We're able to say to each other, hey, what do you have coming? Because I need a house for these buyers.
Yeah.
It's been really challenging the last few months, but really good as well.
How are you prepping your buyers for that then, so that they understand that, if they see a house they like, they got to put an offer in. If they see a house like not only have to put an offer in, but it's got to be a strong offer.
Yep. Well, we set up all of our buyers initially with a history of what's going on in the market that they're looking in. So we let them know what's sold, what has been pending. We give them notifications so they can check themselves. We're really about transparency.
Yeah, that's great.
I think what's happened in real estate for a long time is we kind of kept the information to ourselves, and buyers and sellers don't like that. They want to know everything.
Yeah, they do.
So we give them everything. And then we always let them know that we're a team when we work together. So we're going to educate you, but ultimately you're going to make the choice.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I love the education front. I mean, it seems like a lot of buyers come into it with making assumptions, and that the education is really what helps overcome that part.
It really is. We get calls often from our website where people say, hey, I'm coming from the East Coast, and I know Phoenix is not expensive. And I say, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk
What's
about
your definition
that.
of not expensive?
I'm not sure when the last time you looked at the news was, but let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Because for our whole area, we're growing.
And that website is movingtoarizona.com.
Yes,
What a
sir.
coincidence when someone's moving to Arizona that's what your website's called.
That's how we figured it out. We have our goldachieversgroup.com, and I said, I'm sure we could get more traffic if we knew what people were looking for. What did we look for when we were moving here? Moving to Arizona. Let's do that. And it happened to be available. So we've set up a Facebook group for that as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where people can join. And really, that's not so much real estate. It's more community. What's going on all over Phoenix that you could get involved in, that you might like, the weather, the news.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get people out to that Facebook group too.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so when you talk about Verrado, I know that you work the whole West Valley yourself. What about the rest of the team? Do you guys expand outside of the West Valley as well, or do you just refer that business out?
We do mostly West Valley, but if we have a client we've been working with that has already looked in West Valley and then wants to go to the East County, we continue with them for customer service,
Because
right?
you know it really well.
We know them. We've created a relationship, and our business is all about people. We ultimately sell them a house, which they'll make a home, but it's all about people for us. So
Yeah.
whatever the best experience for them would be, and we do have agents on the east side that'll let us, what we don't know, right? If it's one of those situations, they'll help us know what we need to know to help our clients.
It's funny because I've heard your name over the years, and I always hear relationship when people say that, like, oh, she's so great at building relationship.
Oh, that's a compliment. Thank you. I'm
So I
glad.
love
That's
that
what
you
we
said
go
that.
for.
And so obviously with inventory tight, then the flip side of that are the listings, and how are you helping someone who's going to put their home on the market be prepared for the fact that it could go like that if it's looks right, price right, all of that.
Well, I'll tell you, most agents even say that they know our listings before they can see our name on it because we are full service agents. So we prepare our seller up front that even though we're in a market where you might get multiple offers, you'll get multiple offers at a higher price point if we still do the work, right?
So give an example of that. Like, what would that look like, doing the work, like a recent?
So the work for us would be going through their home with them, making sure that they've decluttered. In Arizona, the biggest complaint we hear as a team is there's not enough storage, right?
Yeah.
Because all over people have basements or attics, and we don't have a lot of that here. So we usually have them declutter, and then we do some staging with them. Our team offers a staging service for them included in what we do. And then we deliver fresh flowers to our clients every 2 weeks.
Oh, fresh flowers. So staging, for those of people who don't know, what does that mean or look like for you guys?
Oh, sure. So what it means is that we'll bring in pictures, artwork, furniture if we need to.
So like if their family's not attractive, you bring in different pictures?
Yes. No, just kidding. No. No, but we do ask them to take all their
Family
personal
photos down, yeah.
down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so
Explain
funny.
why, because I don't think most listeners would understand that.
I'm glad you asked because you're right. I get asked that a lot. It's probably one of the main questions we get asked is why do we have to do that? And especially in a small town like Verrado, the reason that you do that is because all your neighbors already know it's your house, right? If they're coming in from out of the area to buy a house, they want to see themselves in that house. And when they see you there, you look very comfortable in your house.
Yeah.
And they move on to the house that looks more like they could make it theirs.
Makes it a total side tangent, but when our first house we bought in Phoenix, we recognized the books on the bookshelves as books from our high school where my wife and I met, and then sure enough right above it was a picture of one of our high school classmates bought their home.
Really? Oh my gosh, what a coincidence.
Yeah, total coincidence. All right, so you're staging it, you're getting rid of the personal stuff, you're decluttering it. Because ultimately, in the end, you want someone to be able to feel like they could see themselves in that home, as you said, and then and get all their stuff in that home. Because oftentimes people move here downsizing, right? They have a lot of stuff.
They do. And a lot of times what's really funny in Phoenix is we all think it's cold when it's 65
It
degrees.
is. Look at me, I'm wearing a sweatshirt today.
Right? Most people think it's cold. The people coming here are pretty obvious to the eye because they're in their tennis shorts, right? In January when we're all warm. And so when we're selling a home, especially this time of year, I say take out all that extra heavy stuff, pack it,
That's hilarious.
and
I've
put
never
it
heard that.
away. Put it away.
No big, thick coats.
Well, they don't think it's thick. They're going to think that's weird. So let's put it away because you don't need it. If you need one sweatshirt, that's fine. Keep it in a closet somewhere. But in the main closet, let's not do that.
So you're getting them staged up, you're getting ready to go, and then you talk about multiple offers. So how long would someone expect a listing to stay on the market?
Average time on market is still 56 days, but that's start to finish. So we typically have multiple offers above asking price within a week or two.
That's awesome.
Most of our homes this last year even have sold no days on market, and that's just because we have the unique ability to have relationship with other agents,
all that
right?
word of mouth.
We care about them and they care about us, and so we'll say, hey, do you have a buyer? I have a house coming.
I love that working together, right? Where there's plenty of transactions for everyone, and oftentimes like you said, people were scarce with the information, and now they're abundant in sharing.
Yeah, it's really important, I think, and especially as agents that we respect each other and care about that relationship. We do things differently, so someone who is going to choose us is going to choose us uniquely for who we are, and someone who's going to choose someone else is doing the same, right? Something about them appealed to that buyer or seller.
Absolutely. So, all right, so before I totally switch gears, because I totally want to ask you about foster care. I mean, I think I'm just so fascinated by people who are dedicated, like you and your husband have been in the past. But any last thing on Verrado or recommendations you'd give to buyers or sellers who are thinking of coming to Arizona?
I would say make sure you call us.
Yep, there you go.
Make sure that they check out movingtoarizona.com for sure. And we'll be able to customize for them an experience, take them through the community. And they really need a realtor who lives in that community. That community is super special. And so you're going to need an agent who lives there who can take you to the 4 community pools, the splash pads, knows where the parks are, the trailheads are, the tennis courts, the activities. There's so many. The one thing we didn't talk about is there are so many community events in Verrado that also just add to that ambiance. They do Founders Day every year in March where they bring in a big band just for the community, and this year it's 38 Special.
Oh, nice.
Which is our era, so
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine with me. But they do 4th of July, a parade with the kids, and the kids
awesome.
are the focus of the parade. So they ride their decorated bikes down the thing, and they do a carnival. And same at Christmas.
Do
They
you like to
blow
ride your
in.
scooters?
Yeah, for sure.
good, okay.
My family rode our scooters
just make
this year,
sure.
for sure. And then at Christmas, they blow in snow for the kids and families to have snowball fights.
That's
So
great.
it's really, there's just something really special and unique about Verrado, and no one should come to Arizona, I don't think, without at least knowing that it's there and making the choice.
All right, I'll make a commitment. I'll get out there this.
Will you come visit me and have lunch?
Absolutely, within the next 60 days.
Perfect.
Maybe 30.
Deal.
Make that happen.
You got it.
I was going to say like this year, but that's bad. Like we'll shrink it up. What about where's the name from? Verrado. Is it like named after a person, after a builder, after a community, or?
You know what? That's really interesting, and I think I should know the answer to that, but I don't.
All right. Well, I'm not supposed to ask you questions. Let's just make something up then. What should we talk about?
No, because it's very no.
All right. Now we'll have to do a follow up where we talk about the history of Verrado.
About the history of Verrado.
This episode is brought to you by HomebuyerUniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to HomebuyerUniversity.net to get started online today.